What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 10th installment of TNC Sports Podcast. This is a special one. Not only is it the 10th one, it is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I'm going to let my co-host introduce himself real quick.
Hey guys, I'm Fayed, and Logan's going to introduce some questions today.
Yes, sir. Some Thanksgiving themed questions. Now, Fayed, everybody knows the main two dishes at Thanksgiving. What are you picking first, turkey or ham?
In my honest opinion, bro, I don't pick none of them, bro. I'm not even
None
gonna
of
lie
them?
to you. I don't pick none of them.
None of them? Okay. Well, I mean, I haven't even thought about taking none of them, but usually I'm more of a ham dude. Turkey's a little dry, so I go with the ham. All right. Well, I know you're a big side dish guy. If you're not a main guy, so what's your go-to side dishes?
Bro, gotta be the cornbread and the mac and cheese, bro. People, yeah, man. People already know, man. Black people like to dig in with the cornbread, man. They be jigging
Well,
with the cornbread, man.
if you know me, you know I love mac and cheese. Also, cornbread is amazing as well. I also like a little bit of cranberry sauce. It's always good. And everybody knows stuffing is great. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely up there. I really like it. And then some mashed potatoes. Everybody knows, you know, Thanksgiving special. Any other Thanksgiving things?
Okay, I'm asking you this question: if you could have two teams play on Thanksgiving at 8:30 prime time, who would it be?
Oh, it would have to be the two best teams in the league. Um, if I would pick one from each division or conference, I would pick the Chiefs and the Packers or the Chiefs Seahawks. Or, we did have a good game scheduled for tonight that got moved, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Uh, so I would either put that one back or I'd pick up the Chiefs and Seahawks or Chiefs and Packers. I think that'd be a great game to watch. What about you?
Facts. I think I would go AFC conference right here. I would go Kansas City and Pittsburgh and see who wins that one.
Of course, that'd be a great one to watch. And now, what's your last one? What's your favorite thing to do on Thanksgiving besides stuff your face full of food?
Watch football. Watch football. That's kind of how
Sir,
it is. Watch football.
kick back, have a little cheat day, watch some football. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the fam. That's a great day, and I'm excited to get to that in about. My family's heading out in about an hour and a half, so that'll be fun. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys again, and now let's get right on topic. There was a lot that happened in the NBA. We're gonna start with the NBA as we always do. Um, this episode, I didn't prepare too much for it, so I don't know how long it's gonna be. But we got some big free agency news, and that's what we mostly going to talk about today. There's a lot of players that signed, but one of them that didn't sign, Anthony Davis, is still unsigned. He opted out of his contract, and I hear he's waiting to sign to see what Giannis is going to do. If Giannis signs that extension, he's just going to sign like a full max deal. But if Giannis doesn't passes on the extension this year, AD's gonna take a smaller contract so they can try and get Giannis. Imagine how scary that would be with Giannis on the Lakers. I don't think I don't think I would watch the NBA. I'm sorry, like the season will be over. What would you think if Giannis wound up on the Lakers?
That would be a Jordan dynasty coming back, bro. Like that team would win probably in the next 7 years, bro. No, probably not seven because LeBron only got like 4 years. Probably the next 4 years, bro. They're gonna be four-time champs for the Lakers, bro. That team would be unstoppable. People wouldn't watch the NBA anymore. People would think, oh, the Lakers are like they're trying to take over the league like the Warriors did, and people are gonna really doubt them. But it's gonna be a great team to watch, man. Like you see, like all different calibers on different sides of the ball, and you just see like amazing players playing together.
Yeah, I agree. And not only did they win last year, but they're setting up to win this year as well without Giannis. So if they get Giannis, that just eliminates any shot that any teams have. But they also signed Montrezl Harrell, six man of the year, which they got him for pretty cheap. They got him for like 9.5 mil a year, 2 years, 19 mil. which is ridiculous in my opinion. He betrayed his Clippers and went over to the Lakers, and they also got Marc Gasol, which is crazy. Those are two really good players that they're adding to an already championship team. So it's not looking good for the rest of the league. I think the only team that could compete is the Nets if they get. I mean, maybe if they don't get Harden still, but if they get Harden, I think they could take that team down. What do you think? What teams do you think could compete with the Lakers as of now without like how they are right now?
How they are right now, I'm gonna go with now. People sleep. People sleep on Charlotte now. People gonna sleep on Charlotte. People gonna sleep on Golden State. Golden State has a chance, man. They just got Oubre to replace Klay Thompson. Is a versatile player. He's amazing. I just believe no one could really stop LeBron unless they have a player like Embiid or Giannis or Cat to really stop AD from scoring.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely gonna need a big man down there. I did like how you brought up that they're sleeping on Golden State. Golden State's still gonna be a good team. They're probably gonna be a top 5 seed in the West. Probably get to the second round, but I don't know. I just need to see Giannis dominate in the playoffs how he does in the regular season. Then I could think they could contend. Um, let's see what else. I think the Nets, as I said, maybe the Heat. Again, I think the Heat do need to add like one or two more pieces, which they haven't yet. So we'll see how that turns out. And then I know Nick's gonna love this one. Brandon Ingram re-signed with the Pelicans for 5 years, $158 million. If I'm a Pelicans fan, I love that. Brandon Ingram's the future. Him and Zion are the future. And the Pelicans are set up to be great in a few years, which will be great because the Lakers will be out. What are your thoughts on Brandon Ingram resigning?
Nick gonna hate me for this. He gonna hate me. I believe that Brandon Ingram wanted the money. I don't think he wanted to win as much as he wanted to make the money. Because I believe he wanted to win. I mean, I think he would have left. I think he just wanted to rebuild with the youngins and really focus on being like a team as a whole and trying to get one more piece to win a chip.
Yeah, I could see that take. I think the Pelicans are a playoff team next year. Now they might not get past the first round, but in the upcoming years, I think they'll get better and better. So I mean, yeah, it's not a win now move to sign, but I think the future is very bright. And we'll see in a couple of years. Because I think he's in his like mid-20s, so he has plenty of time. By the time his deal's done, he'll probably still be like 28, 29, so he'll still be in his prime. Also, I know you've messed with Toronto a little bit. Fred VanVleet, he re-signed for 4 years, $85 million. He came out and said he wanted the money, and he got paid about like $21 million a year. I really like this. Fred VanVleet fit the system very well, and he's been improving every year. I believe he averaged around 18 last year, so I really like that. What do you think on that?
I believe he deserved it. I mean, this dude came out of nowhere. He came from the G League with Pascal Siakam. It came up on the active roster and just showed out, man. And I mean, no one expected them to be this good. They just signed Siakam to a max last year, and they signed a Van Fleet to an undrafted max this year. I just believe, I mean, they're great like talents, and they need to be treated like the rest of the league.
I agree. Fred VanVleet's story is really amazing. He was undrafted. I think he played in the G League for a little bit, worked his way up, and then got a big role on the championship team. So that's just some motivational shit you love to see. And I'm happy for him. That's a great sign by the Raptors. The next one is a lot of people were a little mad at this one. Gordon Hayward got paid $30 million a year, 4 years, $120 million. You were talking about how Charlotte could. I mean, they'll be a playoff team. But what are your thoughts on that move by Charlotte, bringing in Gordon Hayward for $30 million?
I believe that was a bad move. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, he will never be Utah Jazz Gordon Hayward again. I mean, I would have paid him less. I would have signed him, but I would have paid him less money. I think I would have went for like a Bojan Bogdanovic or like a Jay Crowder. I don't think I would have went for 120 million on Gordon Hayward because he got that in Boston. I get like he tore his like he broke his leg and his ankle and whatever. But I just believe he will never be the same Gordon Hayward he was. He's just gonna be like that average player that scores like 17, 18 points a game.
Yeah, obviously his prime days are behind him, and it's not his fault. It's a crazy injury that just happens. But I agree with you. I think they should have signed him, but maybe for like 20, 15 mil.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Because he's still a solid player, and Charlotte's a young team. So we'll see how that goes. I know they got LaMelo Ball, Vernon Carey, Malik Monk, and they got a solid young core. I don't know if that move was good for the future though, so we'll see how that plays out. And the next one, you said, speaking of Bojan Bogdanovic, he signed with Atlanta, which was kind of crazy because he was originally supposed to go in a sign and trade to the Bucks, which Giannis, when the news broke that the trade fell through because Bogdan didn't want to come, that hurt Giannis's chances of staying. So we'll talk about that. And he signed a 4-year, $72 million deal with Atlanta. So Atlanta's also looking like a good team. Not only did Atlanta get Bogdan, who else did they get? They got Danilo Gallinari, which is also a good pickup. So they're looking like a solid playoff team as well, especially in that weaker East. Let's talk about your thoughts on the Bogdan trade first, and then talk about how you think it affects Giannis's decision.
Now, I believe that it was an amazing trade. It was an amazing sign off from Bojan because I know Bojan did not want to stay in Sacramento. They were not going to win. They're just a team like a low level team that keeps getting first round picks every year. I believe that's going to help Atlanta a lot with Trae Young, and they needed some really older players to really help Cam Reddish out too because he was not really so good last season. And like you were saying about Giannis, I mean, him not going to Milwaukee, I'm sorry, but like nobody wants to go to Milwaukee. I'm sorry, dude. That's not a hot spot for an NBA franchise or a city that people want to go to. It's just not like Atlanta, Miami, Dallas, LA, Toronto, Boston. It's not like it's not like a showy place to go. But I believe like if someone does not want to go there, they realize that Giannis cannot get help where he needs it. So he has to go to a team that's stacked to help him out and win a chip.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't want Giannis to go to a sack team, so I hope he gets help. But I also wouldn't mind seeing him leave as long as it's not to like the Lakers or the Clippers. I would like to see him go to like a Dallas Mavericks. That'd be a good fit. Him and Luka and KP would be awesome to watch. Maybe even the Miami Heat would be a good fit as well. So we'll see. As of right now, he's been waiting. He hasn't signed that deal. So my prediction is that he's not going to sign it, and he's going to test the free agency waters, whether he might still resign next year, but he also could take that money somewhere else. And then as far as Bogdan, that's a great sign for Atlanta. He's a relatively young talent, great scorer. He's going to help Trae Young. Now, I don't know how well defensively Atlanta's going to be because Trae Young's not a great defender. I don't think Bogdan's a great defender. Gallinari's definitely not a good defender. So they might be one of the best offensive teams in the league next year, but also one of the worst defensively. But I still think they're going to do well enough to make the playoffs. So that was a good trade. And so was the Danilo Gallinari. He's a great scorer as well. So let's get into the next one. Houston went back and got a big man. They got Christian Wood as well as DeMarcus Cousins, which by your face you do not like. Give me those emotions you're just showing. Why you make that face?
I'm sorry, DeMarcus Cousins, but like DeMarcus Cousins is just a player that needs to just come out the league already. Like he's had 2 shots of trying to win a chip. He could have had one, but he signed with Golden State, thought he could win a chip, tore his Achilles.
No, he tore his Achilles before. He tore his quad and then he tore his ACL.
So both. He had 2 chances, and now he's going to go to Houston I hope Houston paid him like the
It was
veteran
I
minimum.
think it was a minimum or like 5 mil.
Okay. I just believe like Marcus Cousins. I get he's a great player, but he can never be Sacramento Marcus Cousins again. He just needs to probably go to China or something to get some picks or to get some doggone stuff or something.
Yeah, I do want to see him get one more shot, which he's getting in Houston. But if he plays how he played in Golden State, it's not looking too good. He looked too slow. I mean, granted, he's always been relatively a slow player. But we need to, for him to stay put on the Rockets, he needs to show how dominant like he used to be in Sacramento, which I think is very unlikely. I don't think he'll be able to do that. And then the Christian Wood signing was a good sign. He's a relatively young center. They paid him $41 million over 3 years. And he'll help them, like when they played the Lakers in the playoffs, they got absolutely bodied. So he'll definitely help them in that little situation. And then the next one, which was big for the Nets, they came to the offseason trying to re-sign this guy. Joe Harris, spot-up shooter. I think they paid him about 5 years, 85 mil, maybe 4 years. That was a great sign. Not really too much to say about that. Just more help for Kevin Durant and Kyrie. And then Jeremy Grant, he was on Denver last year. In the playoffs, he really did well against the Lakers and Portland. Oh, wait, they didn't play Portland, but against the Lakers. But he, instead of re-signing with Denver, he decided to go to the Pistons for 3 years, $60 million, which in my mind, I would not have done that. I think he was a restricted free agent. Actually, I'm not sure, but
yeah,
I would have gone back to Denver in a heartbeat. That is a winning team. Instead, he goes to a, kind of shaky Detroit team. What do you think about that?
I think he should have stayed with Denver too, because Denver, like you said, is a playoff team. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, dude. And you could win, you could take less money. But in Detroit, if you take more money, you're not going to make the playoffs at all. You're just going to play 3 years and not make the playoffs once. And you might see Denver go to the finals. You might see Denver go to West Conference Finals every year. And you just sit at home during the whole playoffs
Counting money.
And be miserable. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have re-signed with Denver. And he had a good role in Denver too.
Yeah.
He was going to be one of the best he was one of the top 10 free agents people were looking to sign. And, Detroit got him, so not much to say about that. And then one that I was happy about, the Wizards re-signed Davis Bertans for 5 years, 80 mil. I was really happy about that. He's a great player, one of the best shooters I've ever seen, besides, obviously like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Duncan Robinson. But he's a top 5 shooter in the league. I was really glad we got him back. He's like a 6'9", super lengthy, just Latin laser, bro. I'm really happy about that. And then Serge Ibaka, he left Toronto and signed with the Clippers, which in my opinion, it doesn't necessarily make up for the Montrezl Harrell loss, but I think it's a great pickup considering how they lost Harrell. That's a really great pickup. He's a great shot blocker, and he's gotten better at scoring over the years. What are your take on that Serge Ibaka pickup?
I believe he's going to replace Montrezl Harrell's role. I do not believe he's a Montrezl Harrell, but I believe, like you said, Clippers got an excellent pickup in Serge Ibaka, one of the best blockers of our time. And they could see if they could rework him in the starting lineup to be a power forward or possibly a center.
All right, and the last one I wanted to talk about was Miami Heat re-signed Bam Adebayo for 5 years, $163 million, which I think is well earned. Bam was a first-time All-Star this year. Many more to come in the future. He's definitely going to be a part of what Miami wants to do in the future because, they just made the finals. They want to go back. They needed to re-sign some of their core players, which they did. They re-signed Goran. They did not re-sign Jay Crowder. I forget what team he went to, but he
Suns.
Where?
Suns.
Suns? Okay, that's a good pickup by the Suns. But Bam got paid. I'm happy for him. Him and Jimmy can now, spend money willingly because Jimmy got paid last offseason to go there. But that's a great re-sign. I'm glad they did that. You want to say anything on that?
Man, in 2 to 3 years, man, I hope my man Tyler Hero can get that same deal that Tatum and Donovan Mitchell got, man. I'm hoping he can get that bread and shine in the NBA, man. I'm just hoping.
Yes, sir. As well as Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox got paid as well, which, he's their best player. So I'm happy for him as well. That's basically it for the free agency part. I don't really have any other topics as far as, NBA, unless you have anything to say.
That's probably it for the NBA. Yeah.
All right. Right to the NFL. This is the bread and butter. But obviously, we always talk about our teams first. And your team played Thursday night, last Thursday. What happened that game? Y'all got a big, big win.
I was very proud of our team. The last couple weeks, our defense has not stepped up. Our defense was just poor, but I believe we stepped up. We got Carlos Dunlap, had 2 sacks, a game-winning sack to end the game. Russell Wilson did not have a pick or a fumble. I'm so glad. But the one thing we need to work on, Russell Wilson needs to look for DK Metcalf more often. He had 3 receptions in 4 targets. 1 target was 56 yards. It got reset because of an offensive holding call. But I believe like DK one-on-one versus these corners, they can't guard him. You just need to float it up to him. He'll catch it. You just got to give him a shot. But I just believe we did an amazing job. We have a really tough. I'm gonna say we have a tough schedule because I know how teams get when they play a bad team. They overestimate them, and then they end up winning by 2-3 points to a team that's not that great, but they can improve on. So I'm saying we have a really tough schedule coming into the following weeks.
All right. And one thing I'm really happy about is we, for at least the next 5 years, we have Kyler Murray versus Russell Wilson 2 times a year, which, both of the games that they've played against each other were absolutely amazing, super entertaining. And that whole division is just fun to watch whenever they play each other. So, hey, that'll be those games are awesome to look forward to. That speaking of, that could be another game I would like to see on Thanksgiving. But I mean, it happened last week. But I would love to see Seattle play on Thanksgiving. They're a great, fun team to watch. And even though the Detroit versus Houston game is bad, I'm excited to watch Deshaun Watson play. I haven't really gotten a chance to watch him play. So I'm gonna definitely be tuned in that entire time, watching Deshaun. I've said this before, not on the video, but he's my favorite quarterback in the NFL to watch play. Obviously Russell Wilson and them are up there, but Deshaun Watson is just so fun to watch. Watch him in person. Me and you watch him in person. Even though they got smoked that game, he was super fun to watch. And I'm excited to watch that game, as well as the Washington game. Speaking of Washington, we took on the Bengals last week, and we took care of business, as we are a winning football team. No, we are 3-7 now. So that was a big win. I just want to put prayers up for Joe Burrow. He tore his ACL, MCL, and there's other structural damage. He's a great quarterback. In my opinion, it would have been the race between him and Herbert would have been super close for Rookie of the Year. All prayers to him. Hopefully he gets better, and I'm excited to see how good he is in the future. Other than that, defense played pretty well. Offense looked decent. We only put up 20 points, but we only had to put up 20 points. We got the job done. Now, every team in the NFC East has 3 wins. So every game is important. This one today at 4:30 is huge. We need to win so if we win, we get first place in the division. Unless Philly wins. Philly, they got a tie. So they're in first place right now, and then the rest of the teams are tied for second. So I'm excited for this game. Dude, we could make the playoffs and still have a top 10 pick, if that's possible. I don't know, which is crazy. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, because whenever I get them up high, they disappoint me. So I don't know. It should be a fun game, especially with Andy Dalton back. The Cowboys looked good last week as they beat the Vikings. So hopefully we can get the job done. And that's all I really got to say. Alex Smith also did pretty well. Other than that, McLaurin is better than DK. But I'm excited to watch the football today. Sadly, besides that Pittsburgh game.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of the Ravens and the Pittsburgh game, if you're a Raven, we said this last week, but now the Ravens have lost 3 games in a row. How worried are you, especially because they play Pittsburgh on Sunday?
I'm very worried because they're not going to beat Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. That's a very hard place to win. And I just believe I'm very worried because they'll become 6-5. They won't be in playoff contentions anymore. The Browns have a better record than you will be 2 games. The Browns play Cincinnati on Sunday. They're gonna probably get the win again. No, wait. I don't know. I forgot.
Cleveland plays Jacksonville, so that's a win.
Yeah, so that's okay. Yeah, so they're gonna be 8-3. They're gonna still be in playoff contentions. I just like to answer your question. I just believe that Baltimore needs to find a way to get Marquise Brown and Dez Bryant in the mix because they're. So I saw this thing on Instagram. It said Dak Prescott still has more passing yards than Lamar Jackson, Gardner Minshew, and all these other quarterbacks that are starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And it's like Dak Prescott's been out for like 5 weeks now, and you still don't have more passing yards than him, and you have a great receiving core that you can't throw to. That's all I got to say about Baltimore.
Yeah, if I'm a Ravens fan, even as of right now, they're not even in the playoffs. 6-4, I believe they're like the 9th seed right now. So I would definitely start to panic. And now you got the 10-0 Pittsburgh with the number 1 defense in the NFL, and you're traveling up to Pittsburgh to play them. It's not looking good. Lamar Jackson has his issues, but also I think their offensive coordinator needs to step it up, or he needs to get fired. You have all those weapons on offense, and none of the receivers can get open. And the defenses are literally calling out your plays. Something needs to change, whether it's him getting fired or they need to just rethink things. So I would definitely be worried. Hopefully they can get it done. I mean, I'm gonna have Pittsburgh this week winning, so we'll see how that one plays out. There's also a new rule in the NFL that is requiring players to wear their mask on the sideline. Now, I think this is going to cause a lot of fines because if you look on the sidelines, at least 50% of the players do not have their mask on. So there's going to be a lot of NFL getting a lot of money. I don't get really too much to say about that unless you want to add anything.
I just believe Baltimore need to start wearing masks, man, because I mean there were just reports this morning they got 2 more positive tests this morning.
I know Baltimore and the Raiders are having a lot of positive tests.
I know, man.
So they need to figure it out. The Raiders, John Gruden got fined a lot for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, for them. Exactly,
so hopefully they're getting better about it. I know they had 11 players on it last week.
Yeah.
The next one is Tua was benched, I think in the 3rd quarter, due to the fact that he got sacked 6 times. His pocket awareness wasn't really there, and he only had 83 yards and a touchdown. No picks, but he wasn't moving the ball. But they did say that he's going to start this week. Why do you think they benched Tua in that situation instead of letting him play it out? And they're going to stick with him. Why?
No, I mean, my opinion, I would have kept Tua in there. In my honest opinion, I would have kept him in there to see what he could do and just play the rest of the game. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick didn't do anything. I mean, they still lost. He didn't really make a difference. It wasn't like he was gonna break his leg or so. I mean, that could happen, but I mean, I think they put Ryan Fitzpatrick in because they thought Fitz Magic was gonna come out. That just was not gonna happen in Denver. I don't know. Miami plays a bad team this week. I just forget who they play.
They play the Jets.
So yeah, they should put Tua in, let him get loose, get him comfortable with the with the game a little bit more, have a win, and then analyze after that game who you want to start.
Yeah, I think they should have kept Tua in as well, because Tua's gonna have games like this throughout his career, and he's got to learn how to work through them. And if you get benched, it kind of messes with your mind, like, oh, I'm not playing good enough. Like, what's up? Like, I need to do better. I mean, I guess it's gonna maybe help him to push himself more and do better, but it could mess up with your mental. I think they should have kept him in and let him work it out. Especially Denver. I think he could have started moving the ball. Yes, Denver has a pretty solid defense, pretty good defense. So I would have kept him in there. He didn't turn the ball over, but he wasn't moving the ball, so they benched him. The next one is I know Nick wants us to talk about this. Taysom Hill came in with Drew Brees having 11 fractured ribs and a collapsed lung. Taysom Hill led the Saints versus a terrible Atlanta Falcons team. But he looked good. I don't know how many passing yards he had. I think he had a decent amount, probably over 100. And he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Michael Thomas finally got the ball. So for my fantasy team, I was happy with that. I saw you shaking your head. Why is that, man?
I'm not going to give Taysom Hill the green light yet. I'm not going to give him the green light yet because you played Atlanta. Atlanta has one of the worst, sacking quarterback pressure defense in the league. They're not that good. So you have to understand that if Taysom Hill can play. So I was talking to Nick yesterday, and he was talking about how they play the Chiefs. If Taysom Hill can beat the Chiefs, I'll give it to him. But you cannot talk to me about him playing Atlanta being the worst team in the division, and almost the worst team in the conference, and you say it's Taysom Hill. Come on, that's just nonsense.
I agree. That's a great point. He definitely does not have the green light. Atlanta is one of the worst defensive teams in the league. This week, I think they play the Chiefs next week because this week they play Denver. So Denver does have a little bit better of a defense, but I do expect Taysom Hill to step in there and get the win. But as you said, there's no green light. Atlanta's defense is trash. Yes, he played well, but when I was checking through the first half, he wasn't really doing that much. They were losing 9-3, but obviously he got it going a little bit late in the first half. So I don't know. We'll see how he plays this week, and then if he's still in when the Chiefs come to town or when they go to Arrowhead, we'll see. That's the real test to see how he is. Even though Drew Brees will be back in the playoffs, hopefully. I want to see Taysom. Taysom's apparently the future of New Orleans, so we'll see. Next one is the Colts defeated. Who they play? Brain fart. Packers. And then the week before or 2 weeks before, they beat the Titans. I think the Colts are the real deal. They have a top 5 defense in the NFL. Their offense can be shaky at times, especially with Phillip Rivers. Now, if Andrew Luck was still in there, I think they would be the best team in the league, up there with the Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But they don't, and now they have Phillip Rivers, and they still are 7-3, leading the division. And they have a big game this week versus Tennessee, which I'm honestly really considering about taking them, considering how well their defense has played. And Tennessee is also scaring me. They barely beat the Ravens, and then they lost 2 weeks in a row before that. So I think the Colts are the real deal. Do you think they're phonies, or do you think they're real?
I've been saying this since this podcast started, man. I've been saying this. You can go back to our first installment. The Colts were always been the real deal, man. Their defense is amazing. Their corners are underrated. Safety's underrated. But there's 3 guys on their offense that are underrated that people really don't pay attention to. Nyheim Hines, Jonathan Taylor, and Michael Pittman. Those 3 guys.
2 of them are rookies, too.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman. They're rookies. And you have to understand, people underestimate the Colts a lot because they think, oh, Phillip Rivers is old. He can't run. Their rookies don't know how to possess the ball. People have to understand. They have a better record than you. They played harder teams than you, and they've won. So I believe if the Colts can beat the Tennessee Titans on Sunday, they will go to the playoffs at that 3 seed and win the division.
Yeah, as of now, they stand in there at that number 3 seed, leading the division. Even though they're tied with Titans, they beat them, so they are the owner of that number 1 spot in the seed. I think it'll be interesting this week. I think it'll be another great game. Even though last time they played, the Colts won by 17.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It should be a better game this time, I believe. I don't know who I'm gonna pick. I'm leaning towards the Colts right now, but we'll get to that when we get to the picks. And then the next one, even though the Raiders lost, I think they are still a playoff team that could win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Especially they scared the Chiefs twice. They beat them once and they scared them on Monday night. So if I'm the Chiefs, I do not want to see the Raiders in the first round.
I
Because right
wouldn't either,
now,
yeah.
the Raiders are around that 7 spot. They might be a little higher, they might be a little lower, but they are around that 7 spot. And if the Raiders land that 7 spot, I would be worried as a Chiefs fan. Even though you're 9-1, you're living large, I would be worried to see the Raiders at that 7 spot. Any other team, I wouldn't be too worried about. But the Raiders, twice in a row, one time they beat them, one time they took them down to the wire. I don't know. I'd be really worried, and I also think the Raiders are the real deal. I think they're 6-4, maybe 7-3. But I think they're the real deal. And if any team plays in the playoffs, I believe it'll be a great matchup no matter what seed. What's your take on the Raiders?
I believe they're the real deal as well. Like you said, they're all young. You put all grading cores together. I just believe that I'm still not on this Derek Carr train. I'm still not on that yet. I'm kind of still optimistic about him. He's a great quarterback. I just believe he's not really an elite quarterback yet. I think he needs to evolve, but he's been in Oakland a long time. I think in about 2-3 years, you need to replace him with someone else to get the team back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, those were rumors that were going around when John Gruden came in. They wanted to get Tom Brady this offseason, but they didn't. And John Gruden was never a big fan of Derek Carr, but he's definitely supporting Derek Carr. And Derek Carr has played really well this season. So we'll see. He might get an extension, or they could try and sign, a better quarterback. Maybe take a shot on Dak Prescott. We'll see. But as you said, I think they're the real deal. If I was a playoff team, whether it was Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Colts, Chiefs, I'd be scared to see the Raiders in the first round. And the last thing I have, and if you want to say anything after this, go ahead, bring it up. But the last thing I have is that Tom Brady looked straight awful. That was a bad voice crack. Tom Brady looked straight doo-doo on Monday. Was it Sunday night or Monday night?
Monday night.
He looked awful on Monday night. He threw 2 of his interceptions were way over the top. Literally looked like a punt. The safety just caught it. I don't know. Is Tom Brady washed? And I don't know. It's a thin line. I don't know. I think he's right a little bit above that wash line. I don't think he's washed because he has good games against not as good teams, but against these good teams, for example, New Orleans, who they play? The Rams.
Rams.
And he did play good against the Packers because they shit on the Packers, but against some of these good teams he struggled against. What is your take on the Bucs as a team, and then Tom Brady?
I think Tom Brady's not really liking their offense because in New England, he could choose whatever play he wanted, and he didn't really run in New England. Now, Tampa Bay is really a mostly run offense, and I just believe they have too many pieces that they don't need. I mean, Chris Godwin, he got like 4 recs, well, like receptions. Mike Evans got like 5. Antonio Brown got like 7. Like, I think you're putting too much on Antonio Brown and not on your other players. The Bucs have okay. I'm gonna give the Bucs a chance. They have a really tough opponent this week, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if Tom Brady can win this game, I think they could win the rest of their games in this season. But if they lose, it's gonna be a really tough time for the Bucs to come back and make the playoffs, man. It's gonna be really tough.
Yeah, I fully expect them to lose that game. based off how Tom Brady played last week. I think the Bucs, as you said, they have a lot of talent, but there's a time when you have too much talent at one position, and that wide receiver talent they have is, kind of, they might have too much. A lot of people say it's never bad to have too much talent, but if each person wants the ball, it's hard to spread the ball out. Tom Brady's not doing a bad job of that. But it's hard to do as a quarterback. I know from experience, even alone at a long park, if you have 4 receivers, sometimes some of them aren't going to get the ball, and they'll come up to you and be like, "Bro, I'm open," but you won't see them, and they'll be complaining, and you'll be like, "Sorry, bro, I'm just throwing to the first person I see open." It's hard. It's hard to spread the ball around. But I think they'll make the playoffs as maybe like a 5 through 7 seed. I think the Saints are going to ultimately take the division, due to the fact that they beat them twice. And I think they have a better record right now. So, I think it'll be hard for them to find that spot. Luckily, the kind of the bottom of the NFC is not too tough. I think there's like a select few teams that are fighting, maybe like 1 or 2 teams that are fighting for that spot. So I think they'll slip in. But Tom Brady in the playoffs is a different man. So we'll see how he does in the playoffs. Any other NFL things you wanted to bring up or go through?
So I remember you were talking about Herbert and Joe Burrow Offensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I think people sleep on one dude. I know Bab's gonna like this, man. Chase Claypool.
He's got a lot of touchdowns.
Has 10 touchdowns in 10 of his first 10 games. That's never happened. I just believe Chase Claypool is underrated. I believe he needs to get a shot at that title. And the 10-0 Steelers, man, I believe he should win it.
Okay. I like that take. I know he's got the touchdowns. I don't know if he has the yards though. Because I know he had 4 touchdowns in that one game versus the Eagles. He's got the touchdowns, but he's not. I think he's had a few 100-yard games, but I don't know. That's a good take. I really do like that. I think also James Robinson you can throw in there. I don't know about Justin Jefferson anymore. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. He still could be top 5 though. I think ultimately it'll go to Herbert just because he's a quarterback. But I do think James Robinson and who you just said is also going to be in the top 3 finalists.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to make some picks?
Sir.
Yes, sir. So I do have an updated standings. So I'll read them out right now.
Okay.
So last week, I went 9-5 last week. Davin and Bap went 7-7, and Fayed, you went 6-8. So you were 1 game below them.
Yeah.
It's still relatively close. I'm now at the number 1 spot, 73-41-1. Davin 71-43-1. Bap is 69-45-1. And Fayed is 66-48-1. So it's still relatively close. You're within 7 of me, which is, not too bad. You could make that up in like 2 to 3 weeks, honestly, unless I shit the bed one week. Then you could be right there.
Yeah.
But we've seen Bap and Davin and even me have bad weeks, so we'll see how that plays out. But let's get right into these next picks. Let me flip to my page. The one that starts in a little bit over an hour. Who are you taking?
Houston.
Okay. I'm taking Houston too. I think Deshaun's a little too much, and Detroit got shut out last week, so we'll see. And then Washington, Dallas. I gotta walk with Washington.
I'm going Washington too.
Thanks, man. Raiders and Falcons. Pretty self-explanatory.
Vegas.
I do think there's a pretty decent amount of easy call games. Chiefs, Bills, obviously Buffalo.
Yeah, I did too.
Giants and Cincy. This one could be a nice matchup, but Joe Burrow's out. I just remembered. So sadly, I don't want the Giants to win, but Giants have been on a little bit of a roll, so I'm gonna take the Giants.
I did too.
Now the game that we was talking about, Titans and Colts. Who you thinking, bro?
I'm taking Indy.
I think I got to take Indy too, bro. I was hyping them up, and their defense has really been playing well. I might just say this now, and then they're gonna go out and get shit on by Derrick Henry. But nah, I'm playing.
Yeah.
Should be a good one. Vikings and Panthers. This one should be good as well.
I
Pretty
went with
even.
Carolina.
Carolina.
Yeah.
I know Teddy Bridgewater's back. I'm gonna go with Dalvin Cook though. Minnesota.
Wait, even if they lost with the they lost to the Dallas.
Yep, I'm gonna ride with Minnesota this week.
Oh, okay.
Carolina and the Patriots. I'm gonna take not Carolina, Cardinals and New England. I'm taking Arizona.
I took New England.
Okay, I could definitely see that happening due to the experience Bill Belichick has. I don't know. And then obviously I'm taking Miami here over the Jets.
Same.
Obviously, next one I'm taking Cleveland over the Jags.
I did too.
And the next one is going to be hopefully a good game, but I do not trust
Pitt.
Lamar. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You taking Pittsburgh as well?
Yep.
Next one, not too hard. New Orleans. You taking New Orleans as well?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Rams and 49ers. This is a big one in your division. Do you know what your standings are in your division?
So, 7-3, 7-3, 6-4, and then 4-6.
Okay. Are y'all in front of the Rams or are they in front of you?
They're in front of us.
Oh, so you need them to lose. I don't know. I think I might pick. You picked who?
Wait, yeah, go ahead. The Rams, because I knew the 49ers ain't gonna win.
I'm gonna pick the Rams too. Sorry, man. I know you need them to lose, but when do y'all play the Rams again?
Week 16.
All right. Well, y'all gotta win then.
We do, bro.
Chiefs and Bucks. I'm Kansas City.
Facts. I'm with that too, because bro, I don't trust Tom Brady, bro. I don't, but if he wins, great. But
Chicago and Green Bay. This one might be a good game, but I'm gonna take Green Bay. Even though they lost last week, I'm taking Green Bay.
I'm taking the Packers too, man. But I could see the Bears beating the Packers. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I could see them beating them, but I'm going with Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, bro. You can't beat him at Lambeau.
I agree. Now Seahawks and Eagles, another relatively easy one, and y'all better help us out because I need Philly to lose. So I'm gonna pick Seattle. That'll do it for the Thanksgiving picks. Now let's get into some fantasy, and then we're done and gonna feast on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna send mine right now.
Let's see. Now, my game was extremely close. I literally won off the last play of the game, or not the last play of the game, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The last possession by the Chiefs won it for me. Yeah, as you see, I won by 1.3. Now 9-2, which is crazy. It was a crazy game. As you see, Kyler Murray did solid on that Thursday night game. Nick Chubbs did all right. He had a lot of yards, but no touchdowns. I think he had like 110 yards. Miles Sanders did it. Michael Thomas finally got some fucking points. I had to start Robbie Anderson because Stephon Diggs was on a bye. He did solid. Kelsey came in the clutch, really saved me. He got the game-winning touchdown, which ultimately led me to win. Taysom Hill, I was able to start him at tight end this week, which is kind of cheese, but he put up 24, which is great. Amari Cooper on the bench. You know, my bench is good, so we'll see. Took care of business. Mahomes did good. Keenan Allen really, really saved Nick. I was winning by a lot, and then Keenan Allen just comes out of nowhere and puts up 34. So that really saved him. And then his defense put up 14 or 17, and then his kicker also put up 14. So that's really what kept him in the game. And I squeaked it out in the end. Thank God, Travis Kelce. Now let's head over to your game. Take
I
me through.
destroyed him. So Russell Wilson did okay. Aaron Jones, he lived up to his moment, 17. Jonathan Taylor was amazing. They should start him more often. Tyreek Hill did amazing. T. Higgins did bad because Joe Burrow was out. I probably won't start him again because your quarterback looks more for Tyler Boyd and AJ Green. Noah Fant actually did better. This was his best game of the year. 9.5. Justin Jefferson had a touchdown. I'm glad he did. He got back to his peak. Steelers did amazing. And then Young Wei Koo, man, almost one of the best kickers in the league, bro. What points wise? I destroyed Hayden. I mean, Hayden didn't have a good week, but I did, so I'm glad.
Yes, sir. That was a big win by you. I know Hayden was trying to make the playoffs, but he might be out now. Let's
I'm
check the
tied with
standings.
you. I'm
Yes,
tied
sir.
with you.
I think I'm ahead of you just because of the points, but
Yeah.
yeah, I am.
Look at 92, bro.
9-2, yes, sir. Number 1 and 2. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at the points. These are
No,
the
I'm
official.
3. I'm
You're
3 because
just
Will. Yeah.
Will. He's just winning his division. That's why he's number 2.
Yeah.
Let's look at the points. I should be number 1.
You
I'm
won
number
6
1.
in a row.
I have.
God dang, bro.
Yes, sir. I'll go through my schedule and we'll go through yours as well. I have the most points by 100 and almost, what is that? 120, 117, maybe. I don't think that's right. Let me do the math. Yeah, 124, I think. So, yep, that's what's up. I also think I have the least amount of points scored on me, though. No, oh, you do. Okay. But I was.
No, you were until I played Hayden. Because remember, Hayden scored 81.
Yeah,
that's
and
how I
then
got
Nick
ahead
put
of
up
you.
140 on me. But I came out with the win. All right, let's look at my schedule, and then we'll look at your schedule. I think we're done. I do want to look. It'll load. My G. There you go. King Melf, yes, sir. So I started out losing to you.
Yeah.
By 13. And then, what's it called? Then I won 3 in a row. Then I lost to Hayden. And then I've won 6 in a row. The last one was the closest game I've had all year.
Yeah.
Honestly. Now let's go check out your schedule.
I think I played Beeks and I hope I play Jackson again. I'm hoping, but
Nah,
no, I
you
played
don't.
one. Nick.
I played Nate and then Bap. So if I had got 2 wins in a row, one of them coming against me, then he lost to Will Bailey. Then you won 6 in a row. Right there. And then you lost to me. And then you got the win this week. So yeah, our schedules are very similar. I'm on my 6th game came now. Your 6th game ended 2 weeks ago. So, that's good to see. I think that's it. Anything else?
No, that was it, man.
This is a little bit of a shorter episode. It's the Thanksgiving special, number 10. Yeah, this one was fun, man. Hopefully you and your family have a great Thanksgiving, dog. I love you like a brother, so, I'm thankful for you and all my boys. Thanks for watching as always. Stay tuned for the 11th episode next week. It'll either be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. This one, I don't know. I might post it today due to the fact that it's Thanksgiving and we're kind of making a Thanksgiving theme. So we'll see. I'll try maybe get it out like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We'll see. Once again, thanks for watching. Tune in next week. Fi, do you want to say your adios?
Deuces, guys. Adios, amigos.
Yes, sir. Peace out, y'all. Come back next week.
Peace out.